warriors. Trapped in an eternity of vapid space. Doomed to wander the galaxy. Broadcasting their nonsense to the void. This is StarCast.
Hello, everybody. It's
Hello.
working. It's working.
We're here.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Yeah. Yeah, everybody, that was, the song was by Mr. Perfekt right there. He was our musician extraordinaire. So, yeah, sorry for the delays, everybody. Crazy last few days. Wednesday, we couldn't stream because Twitch was just all effed up. And then yesterday, I had a special thing where Sony was going to throw their stream at me. So after they were done streaming, they threw all of their people to come watch my stream. So I had to stream some EverQuest Next last night, last minute kind of thing. And so here we are, making up for lost time. Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
Good evening.
Pumped, excited. To
Excited.
Be here.
Yes.
Really.
We always start out this way. It's always like, hey, yeah, okay. By the end, we're like, talking like a thousand
I
miles an hour.
I was just being quiet because I'm dead tired, but that's just me.
Yeah. But yes, so hello, and then I want to welcome two guests tonight. We have two guests. We have our regular Mr. Bod699, who is our moderator extraordinaire, right below down here. Trendane is currently in Texas, schmoozing with Chris Roberts. So
Lucky him.
it was, and then in the middle we have Mr. Sepfy. Sepfy.
Hi.
Hello. So, Mr. Sepfy, would you please like to fill us in a little bit about your involvement with Star Citizen? What do you do as far as the game goes and all that?
Certainly. I'm Sepfy. Sometimes I go by Seth Fuzzball, like on forums and such, and I am the co-founder for Fuzzball Enterprises, which is a furry-oriented organization. We're about we've got an okay following so far. We've got about 70 official employees, as I would say, 25 part-time contractors, and 20 prospective recruits. So we're starting to get a little bit larger compared to, when we first thought we were going to hey, let's have a nice little small guild of 10 people of our close friends, and that just started to kind of explode. But yeah, we have a nice little group of friendly people. So, yeah.
Awesome. Mr. Bod, tell us about yourself, your involvement with the Star Citizen. Because you're always here as a moderator, but people haven't heard you or seen you yet.
Yeah, I mean, I've been gaming since late 80s on my 64. The Commodore 64 long ago. It's kind of drawn on since then. I played his earlier games, got drawn into Star Citizen, I think just before the Kickstarter kicked off, and collected, I think, 11 ships now on the way.
Are you a golden ticket holder?
No, I think I missed it by about a week and a half.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Only just. I didn't know much about it, and then when I read about it, I think I missed it just by a few days, or it was just under a week or so. But I just keep seeing these pretty ships and having to add them to my collection.
Awesome. Cyber just put a wall of text up for questions. So
yeah, he's been saving them up since Tuesday, I think.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, Cyber. Special treat for all of you guys that are subscribers of my channel. If you type in Domo CR, Domo capital C, capital R, you see we have a new emote. So you can do that and get to check out our brand new emote, which is a Star Citizen related emote. It's all lowercase Domo, then capital C, capital R. Yeah. So
I guess I'll do it. Hold on.
No, it's okay. Cyber said, "Yeah, I was backed up, man. I had mental blue balls."
There we go. He's got them out now, so
Yeah, he blew his wad.
Yes.
Better than sex.
That's awesome.
Isn't it cute? Now, I did do a Vandal scythe with the words pew pew underneath, and they rejected it. They said it can't have pew pew. And so I sent in the Vandal scythe. They said this is not your own work. It's a clip art. I said, damn it. So we have to think of
Chris
something
Roberts'
else.
face is your own work either.
I know, right? I didn't take that picture. But I grabbed a good one of him smiling all cheesy and stuff. That was the one. It's a good one, but his head was chopped off, so the hair I drew in on top of his head. But it's so small you can't see it.
Yeah, you can't tell at all.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
All right, so what's been new? What's going on, guys? What's the word on the street for what's going on with Star Citizen before we get into the topics tonight?
So, we had another Wingman's Hangar, which did cover some interesting things from Foundry 42. We had a lot of stuff about mining, and we had some animation that was shown of the gigantic mining robot.
The spider-looking thing.
Yeah, it's like, it looks kind of ridiculously huge and really top-heavy. I thought it looked really cool. And we had a post about what subscribers will get if they subscribe for the second year of Star Citizen subscriptions being available, I suppose. So some pretty cool stuff. You can get in-game items every couple months. Yeah, some merchandise, and you can that's how you get this to the subscriber-only form and things like that. If you go for a full 12 months, you get sort of the VIP treatment. You get VIP admission to all future RSI fan events, priority reservation for citizen cons and conventions, website beta access so you can test the new web content that comes out. You get single-use 15% coupon for the store. That's kind of cool. And test pilot access badge, allowing you 1 day of access to test fly any one of the 5 base spacecraft each month during a future dogfighting alpha test.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
I like the convention one. I might subscribe just for that, because I'm going to PAX East, and as long as I have internet access out there, I'll be able to stream live from the floor. So that's going to be exciting. And I would like to talk to those guys about the dogfighting module if I can. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely good. I definitely think it's a lot. Well, I mean, after the first year of the subs, I guess they wanted to give something a little bit extra to try to draw more people in this year. I mean, giving those bonuses for sticking around is definitely a way to go, I think.
Now, do you pay for the sub month by month, or is it a one-time deal?
You can do either way.
Okay.
Well, yeah. It's just a package that you pay for. Like, if you paying for 12 months is like paying the full amount. But,
yeah.
We don't give you discounts. No discounts.
No discount at all. Yeah, I figured not.
Well, it's not supposed to be like a discounted thing because they're trying to, use this money as procedurally generated stuff. It's not, okay, well, if you do this, then you get all these rewards for your subscription. It's not a subscription. It's you donating money.
Yeah.
So
they can make shows like The Next Great Starship.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect segue.
Good segue. I like that.
All right, so that's our next topic for tonight, is we're going to talk about the Next Great Starship. And unlike before, where we kind of go, oh, you remember that one that was orange and it had laser beams that came out of its back and it shot out ping pong balls? I'm actually going to show you, we're going to watch it now, all of the entries. We're not going to watch the full 45-minute show. I basically cut it down into about 5 or 6 minutes long, and we're just going to see the entries, who they were, what they did, and then I have a little either red X or a check mark. If they went through, they got a check mark. If they were denied, they got an X. So then at the end, we're going to come back and talk about all the entries this time, okay? So yeah, let's go ahead and watch that. And you guys can talk, I guess. I can leave the mics up if you want to talk about it while it's happening. Let's see here. Guys. So thanks everybody for sticking around and just watching that. I wanted to kind of refresh everybody while we were going to be talking about these guns in particular. And it was last week we started talking about the Next Great Starship, and we're saying, oh, they had that one gun that had this thing, you know, and it was a little hard to remember what we were exactly doing. So I figured I could just show that real quick and then go into the discussion. So what do you guys think of the ones that were picked?
I like them, I guess.
For the most part, they were pretty decent. I don't know if any of them were my absolute favorite, but they were pretty decent.
Yeah, the only one I didn't agree with was the last one that was approved, but that was just
the Italian guys.
Yeah.
Is there a reason because they were they dropped in out of the blue and then got automatically put in? I mean, is that kind of bothered me a little bit?
I'm not too bothered about that. It's just the fact that they're gun. I mean, it looks so generic. I mean, it doesn't necessarily look anything, you know, like anything special. It would look like something that you would see coming out of a Portal game. And
It did look like a Portal gun.
Yeah.
And that makes it look generic to me because we've seen the Portal gun, and you want to see something new.
What do you guys think of the criticism that they were giving the one gun that had the two handles on top? They eventually did bring them in. But they were saying it looks like something you could carry around, or actually had four handles on top. One of the things that I was, when I was in the Navy and we dealt with large weaponry, okay, I was a fire controlman and my job was to work on some of the really larger pieces of equipment. And I worked on a thing called the Phalanx Sea-Wiz. It looked like R2-D2 with a heart on, and it's the Gatling gun. And that thing it's really heavy. To get it into place, there are several big spots where there's handholds on there, and I thought it was actually a really great design idea to put those handholds on, because if you're loading this thing onto a ship or taking it off and on for maintenance, you need to have some kind of way to grab it, whether you're doing it with your human arms or you could have like a cyber suit or something like that that's sort of picking it up, you know?
If I could have a Titan do it, that would be awesome.
Exactly, a Titan pick. Yeah, it's got good handhold spots for Titans to grab.
Sorry.
That would be cool.
Yes, Titans would do it.
Now,
I didn't mind the handles. I didn't necessarily think they added a whole lot to me, but the explanation definitely makes it a little nicer.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the same thing can be argued that they're, that they're clap-ins and that you have to make them come out and for you to be able to hold them. And then when you don't need them, you just push them in and, they're gone. I mean, that's another way of looking at it. You don't technically need them to be there 24/7. I mean, but hey, that's two sides of the argument.
That particular gun had an amazing concept piece. Like, its concept art looked gorgeous. He had like a little bit of bluing at the end of the barrels, and it looked like it was real. Like, looked real. Like, they did a great job with the concept, and I kind of would think that the modeler dropped the ball in that specific thing, because I think that the theme artist or the person kind of concept artist was amazing, but it didn't translate into the actual game as well.
Yeah, the model was kind of boring.
Yeah.
There were a couple overall across all of the episodes that seemed like they had fantastic concept art.
Yeah.
And fell a little short in the actual implementation, but the ideas are there at least.
What about One Bit Amoeba? The guy, he has the sort of three things, and it was like set up like the color scheme was from the Rebel Alliance from Star Wars. I mean, I think it had the Rebel Alliance logo on it, didn't it?
It was the first thing I noticed was the color scheme. Even when they first started playing the episode, that was the very first thing that I saw. Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. That's okay. I mean, go with what looks good, right? White and maroon go well together.
They do.
But I need an X-Wing or something for it.
What about the round spinny one from the IXM? The one that it's very tubular, that was all black. What'd you guys think of that one?
I don't understand the significance of something that has to spin completely in all directions with all parts. I mean, no, that doesn't, again, I don't see the appeal of it, and I don't see why it would be necessary for it to spin. It's like, a guy walks into a fucking jewelry shop and goes, "Does it spin?" So yeah, no, for me, the spinning doesn't really do it. However, it did look impressive as a blur, but that's the problem. When everything spins, it's just a blur.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
The opening and closing animations were cool, but as soon as it got going, it just looked like a black cylinder.
That was just spinning in different directions.
And to be honest, I think it's kind of impractical, because if everything's spinning, the amount of the gun the the surface area of the gun that's actually attached to the ship is really small.
And the thing about the gyroscopic forces that are going on there, because the rear end was spinning the wrong direction, or counterclockwise to the way the gun was spinning. And you got to think that that's going to change the way the ship is maneuvering, too, with all that mass rotating out there.
Yeah, I mean...
kind of like SAS.
Right. I mean, wouldn't it'd be so... I feel like it'd be a lot easier just to rip the gun off the ship, you know... Just someone takes one shot at it and it just goes flying.
There has to be a part that doesn't spin, otherwise it doesn't attach to the ship, or the ship would be spinning as well.
It just spins the ship.
The ship, yeah, the thing sits still and it spins the ship.
Does anybody actually think? Because that one has had a lot of votes for the wild card.
I think it won.
Yeah.
Does anyone? Because we know Chris Roberts voted for it, but it ultimately didn't get in. Mm-hmm. Does anybody think that primarily is why there were a lot of votes for it, because he at least because he somewhat liked it, but ultimately it didn't get chosen right then. So
at the end of the day, it's Chris Roberts. If he really wanted it in, he would have just said, "Look, you work for me. Mm-hmm. You vote what I say."
That is true.
He did that when the camera was off. I think it could have been redeemed if they kind of like encapsulated the rear end part, so you didn't see that spinning. And then change the color scheme, because it was black on black with a little bit of glow.
The problem is the fact that you saw everything spin meant that the internal components did not spin, because that's where they were attached. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, not having that frame around it just makes it seem like, it's an unfinished product, because, you'd encase it in something. Like, you take the original minigun, for instance, the barrels spin. But at the end of the day, it's stuck to a solid static surface. Mm-hmm. With, this thing, it just seems like because everything spins, I don't know where to hold it, where to attach it, how to stick it onto my plane. I mean, but yeah anyway.
It's got no character.
And what you got to think about with their gun is, I mean, those guys obviously like the spinning, is how would the concept of their ship look? It probably would fit perfectly well on their ship. If everything's spinning on their ship too, maybe.
Right.
Well, it could be. It could fit in perfectly just on any ship other than one of the standard ones.
Hey, Chris, you approve this spinny gun. Can I now have a spinny chassis too?
Like B-Wing style?
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be cool.
I got a B-Wing thing. Like a permanently spinning B-Wing.
or Spock's ship in the last Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
It just looks like it's crashing the entire time it's flying out in space.
That's how you get gravity,
Do you need gravity in a starship?
No, maybe not.
Of a B-Wing size, maybe?
Maybe not. No, definitely needed my Starfarer.
You need a seatbelt, though.
Definitely need a seatbelt, yeah. What about the Dragons of Nirvana? That was the one that was sort of chrome and red. It was...
too bright.
Too bright. Too basic modeling. I agree totally with the judges. Like, I'm not a modeler, but if I was to put a gun together, I would use chrome and red and the basic things that come with every copy of, 3D Studio Max, the basic... stuff.
Screw that, I just go with black, matte black, and fucking silver finish. I mean, that's what a gun's supposed to look like.
Lots of scratches and stuff.
Oh yeah, fucking worn down.
Yeah, worn down a little bit. Some of the ones that were pretty worn down looked really awesome.
I will say, I am the type that wants my ship to be pristine clean. I will be detailing it every time I'm
with armor all. You're outside the ship.
I will. Yeah. I will detail that thing as much as possible. Needs to be clean.
But that's fine. I mean, I'm sure that you can repaint the gun.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about with that? We can move on. I guess that's about it.
Not much.
We're batting 1,000 tonight. All right. Well, let's see. What do we got next? I think that was it. We're going to move on into our doing our question and answer stuff.
The last thing we forgot to mention was the influx of the new Vandal images for Capital's Vandal size ship comparison, which looked pretty cool. And they made an absolute mistake on it because the Idris is 240 meters long instead of 140 in the picture, which is ridiculous because it's not supposed to be that big.
What about the new Freelancer ones that were leaked?
The new Freelancer variants were out as well. Well, are out. I mean, they're in the hangar patch, so people have been looking at them, and they, Yeah, one has a mohawk, so I rest my case.
I saw that.
And well, they have protrusions on the front now as well. A couple of them.
Yeah, they look
what are we
like
calling those tits.
the screaming
I'm sorry.
memes.
Genital warts.
What's the helicopter that has those?
Hind.
Hi. Okay. Yep. I was trying to look it up, but the Hind helicopter has those things in the front. It looks like they just basically took that, ran with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I like it because basically those 3 variants, they're going to replace your current freelancer that sits in your hangar.
Mm-hmm.
So cherish the way that it looks now because it's
just gonna
over.
get uglier.
Well, it needed the new window. I'll say that they needed that.
I'll agree to that, but now you're either going to get the fat engine without the missile pods and the basic front as you enjoy it now, or you're going to have 2 tits, or you're going to have 2 tits and a mohawk.
Well, if you're going to have 2 tits and a mohawk, why not have it on your freelancer, right?
I like the ace. I kind of like the mohawk one. The tits one is just I look at it. It's just like 2 nipples like pow. You know.
They think they did that because it was so phallic. They say, well, let's put tits on a dick.
Everyone called it the space penis.
Totally
so
Yeah.
yeah.
This is space penis. Yeah.
I mean, I do like how they made the effort to make them look different now, unlike when they did the Hornet variant. It kind of makes me wonder what a Connie's going to look like when they do those. How they're going to crop the constellation with a
Well, the
variant.
Super Hornet and the Spectre really look different from each other.
Yeah, but they kind of just did a different texture on them, you know?
Yeah, it was the same base space hole. This is when you look at them and you can definitely tell they're different.
Does anybody know
yeah,
if these...
but then again, it does kind of feel more like an aesthetic thing than anything else. But yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Are these PBR'd?
Yes.
Okay. So, but we can't tell because the resolution's so low right now.
We can't tell because our hangar fucking files are shit.
Right. And one last thing before we move on. What about, has anybody seen the new release from our buddy, oh shoot. Anything FPS, yes.
Anything FPS.
He just did a Hornet video, which is pretty awesome. He's flying around out and just shooting at asteroids, but how the guy does this, it just blows my brain.
Well, you know, the theory about him is that because he never accepted the job at Star Citizen, everyone kind of assumes that he's already a fucking big shot in the Crisis community because it suggested that he already has a job somewhere. You know,
he's already doing
one
this
that pays really well.
And you know, I've asked him to come on the show like twice, and he keeps saying he's mic shy. Maybe it's because he's like Chris Roberts.
I don't think he's Chris Roberts, but
and he knows it'll give it away if he gets on the air. You're like, oh god, it's Chris Roberts. I can't get on the air because none of his videos is he talking.
The thing is, like,
Maybe
his
he's an
subscriber
employee.
count doesn't show up. None of his actual pages affiliate to anything. Yet he's got, you know, a fuck ton of subscribers. He's
he
actually
does,
a mystery because no one can get in touch with him. And every time someone does, it's like, oh no, it's fine. Don't worry. No, I don't want to talk to you. It's cool. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, it's not
Who is
Chris
this?
Roberts, but it's like one of the Chris's from the couch on the Great Starship. One of those guys.
It could be. It very well could be. But with the amount of care and devotion that he takes in putting into his videos, and the knowledge and the skill and, you know, the CryEngine that he has, and when it comes to fucking Star Citizen resources and how to manipulate them, you're either talking to one of the original Crisis engine devs, or you're talking about someone who's working on Star Citizen and is just doing this as a side thing, and, you know, wants to remain anonymous so that the people at Star Citizen don't realize he's already working there.
That could be.
Could be.
They offered him a job, and he's like, I already work here, guys.
That was a good conversation.
Just show up for an interview. Hey, I saw you work down the street. Yeah, I do.
Weren't you just at the coffee pot this morning? What's up with that? Yeah, don't be looking up that kind of stuff on the internet, guys. You'll get a lot of porn. Oh, anything FPS is Satoshi Nakamoto, which is the developer of Bitcoin. Yeah,
Okay.
Why not? All right, let's move on then. We're going to do our Q&A time. So let's see. I guess I could ask everybody questions specifically, or you just want me to throw them out to everybody?
We haven't gotten very many questions.
We got a few. Remember, everybody, keep putting in your questions. Write your questions in. Stick them in the chat. Chatteroony. There you go. Just like that. So we have a question from Perfekt Nerd. It says, question.
Ask.
Answer.
Answer is the Daily Double. All right. Okay. Let's see. I mean, even though we have like 7 questions, that we could stretch that out for at least 4 hours. So
They're good questions.
they're good questions. Okay, Cyberwolf. He blew his load here, so he asked a bunch. He asked, in today's Wingman's Hangar, as well as today's Squadron 42 artwork, they did show an actual working model of the mining drone, including how you pilot it. Did this make any of you want to be a miner? Did it make you wet?
It reminds me of a Tachikoma. Just saying.
Okay, what is a Tachikoma? I'm sorry.
Ghost in the Shell. Tachikoma.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, now I meant no.
It just, if it makes cute noises, I'll get one. Totally. We'll
It does
do
have that very spider-like Ghost in the Shell design that you would expect from that. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first thing I said when I saw it. I was like, "That is a spider." Like, no, that's not a spider. It can't be a spider. It's a mining. No, it's a spider. And when you take the whole mining rig with the way, with the pylons connecting everything, it's a fucking spider web. Okay, I mean that's just what they were
It
going
is.
for. But yeah, anyway. No, I'm okay. I don't need to mine. I'll just blow it up and take resources.
Yeah, I don't see
Good.
Core being a miner. How about you, Perfect?
No, I'm not. I mean, it looks cool and animates really well. I like it, but I don't want one. I just think it's just... I mean, what am I going to do with it? Like...
Drop it out of an airlock. Watch it go.
Drop it onto people?
Drop it onto enemy ships, enemy capital ships, maybe.
That might be fun.
You mentioned growing your ship in a giant vat a second ago, and Legendary Neurotoxin just wrote it in the chat. I was watching an episode of Enterprise last night, and they came across this ship in space that built ships, and it just like basically used large replicators to make portions of the ship, and just sort of like built it in half a day.
So like a self-replicating ship.
Yeah, it was a self-replicating. Matter of fact, at the end they blow it up. I don't know, spoiler, but they blow it up, and then the ship repairs itself, puts it back together.
I was to say, is that like ship genocide or?
I guess it's shipception.
Shipception. There's no spoilers for Enterprise, by the way, because
Yeah,
that ship
it's
sucks.
like 10 years old. The only reason it sucked is it had a terrible theme song.
The intro
No, that's
was
not
too
the only
different.
reason it sucked.
You didn't like T'Pol's inflated lips?
No, I didn't like anything about that show. I thought the characters were freaking horrible. And it was just poorly written. I don't
sorry.
like Enterprise.
I'm sorry. It wasn't that bad. All right. Next question. For Core, did you see today's Wingman's Hangar and the new inner workings of the Idris spec? How the turrets work and torpedoes get loaded? Also confirmed by Rob. Gladiators fit in an Idris.
It's not a question.
Yes.
Yeah, it was more of a statement, wasn't it?
No. The first part was yes. Is my
Oh, yeah.
response.
Did you see?
Yes.
Did I see? Yes. I am pretty excited that they can fit a Gladiator in there, but we've known for a little while that they can fit, any single-seater, double-seater craft in there that is of a certain size. But again, confirmation's always good.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. Next question. We're just like not on it tonight. Everyone's just sort of like, yeah.
We're like
look, I haven't slept in a good 41-ish hours, but that's my fault. So just don't pay attention.
It's partly my fault too. I made you stay up last night.
And I'm half awake as well.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
well, that's okay. All right. Cyberwolf asks, during today's Wingman's Hangar, during the next Great Starship commercial, they showed off a silhouette of the next ship SIG is working on at exactly 3259. It is some type of combat ship, and it has 2 Bulldog laser repeaters as well as 2 M3A lasers on the nose. It looks fast and mean. What ship do you think this could be? I think it's the Mustang. How about you guys?
It's probably the Mustang. Maybe. I don't know. Let me look it up really fast. I want to see what it looks like for...
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm looking at it right now myself. I'm trying to find it.
Give me a link once you do, and I'll
For
look
the
at
image?
it too. Yeah. I think we already had... Hold on. I think I know where it is.
It would be... Is it the promo? Yeah, it's the promo, right? No, it was in Wingman's hangar. Sorry.
I know where... Hold on. I know where the image is. Just give me 1 second. I'll find it.
3259.
It's general discussion.
51 to...
A hidden chip, a clue or surprise. There we go. Got it right here. I'll put it in Skype.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Ah, that ship.
Ah, here it is. Interesting. It looks like a Gundam.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
No.
It does kind of look like a starter ship, though, doesn't it? I think it's probably the Mustang.
It very well could be. It's got plenty of guns, and they did say that the Mustang was going to be more speed, more dogfighting than the Aurora. So it would make a great deal of sense that it is, in fact, the Mustang. But it does not look like a Gundam.
It looks like a cross between a Gundam and the cross between that and the thing on the cover of Mother 3.
It's a core fighter from Gundam, is what it looks like to me.
But that guy was never a main character, so nobody cares about it.
Yeah. I think it looks cool, actually. I really like it.
It looks better than the Aurora, so if it is a starter ship,
Yeah, right.
I'll get rid of at least one of the Auroras.
Kind of looks like an X-Wing, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe that's what we need to put the Rebel Alliance ships or guns on. Get a Rebel Alliance painter.
Been saving an Aurora, waiting to see the Mustang, so I'm hoping it is that. Because I'd happily trade it. But I want to get rid of this Aurora out of my hangar. Ugly.
Between the two of us, I think we have 4 Auroras, so I'd gladly get rid of a couple of them.
The bloody Tom Flint says the Mustang was more like a Yugo. We're getting some feedback. I think it's coming from Sepfy. Oh, it's getting louder! My head was about to pop.
The hell, it's like a jet engine.
It does, yeah, it sounds like a jet.
His Auroras are rebelling.
Yeah, his Aurora's like, screw you, pal, you're sticking with me. I'm trying to find the image here.
Okay, well, it's gone.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, very cool looking.
Is that a train?
Is that a train? Maybe it's a mercenary gunship. Yeah, it could be.
Mercenary gunship. I still imagine that just to be like this, caterpillar-sized ship with like a 50 billion turrets on it. I mean,
here we go. I've been trying to figure out a way to download it.
The mercenary gunship was what they were working on for the next great starship. So that's what the teams are going to have to design. If that's the case, they're probably not going to work on one on their own yet, anyway.
Okay, here, let me load presentation.
Well, they were going to make something gunshipy. Just don't remember what it was. It might just be one of the. It might just be the Drake, the Herald thing that flies really quickly.
There we go. I got a picture of it up now. Sorry, everybody. I was trying to get it to download, and I couldn't get it to download. So there we go.
G Fleet.
Mr. Stompy says, will Geekdomo be leading the T... No. Definitely not.
The hell is the TOG Fleet?
It's the old gamers, remember?
Talking about right.
That before? I'm going to try to figure out a way that we can work together as a group, for sure. I think that's Core's job, right? Are you like some sort of ambassador?
No, I'm not an ambassador.
That's your job too, Core, now.
No.
Yep,
yeah.
Now you gotta do that.
We have other people to do that.
And Cyberwolf is 100% right. I did used to leave before my thing.
We have a great diplomacy department. Very active.
Well, as of a week, we have a great diplomacy department. Before that, we have no idea what our diplomacy department did.
Well, now they need to get on with the old gamers and try to set something up.
Well, yeah, I can make that happen. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Cool. What are you actually in, Geek? Are you in with the old gamers, or are you in Imperium?
No, I'm in Imperium, but I'm trying to. Yeah. I'll probably have a character in the old gamers at some point.
Well, have whoever's diplomatic liaison or guy who leads the old gamers. Contact us on the SCB and make an account, and we'll set him up with diplomatic access and shit.
Okay. Yep. All right. Next question. I jumped ahead because I didn't really read that as a question. I'm sorry. All right. Next question here is from
Dragar.
There it is. What do you think the hinted at ship announced next? We just said that. Sorry. What do we think the new Vandal ship are? Do you have a favorite, and do you think we'll be able to pilot some of them?
I'll take a carrier to go.
Take a carrier to go.
I think they look cool. I think they look a lot cooler than the UEE ships. They have a lot more. I like this. I like the spiky kind of character of Vandal ships. Like they feel very bandity, kind of zergy. I like that.
Read the next non-question in the form of a question, please. Beep beep beep. I'm so lost. Everyone's off tonight. Like we're off.
We don't have Trendane either.
The people who are watching are off. Everyone's just sort of like, I don't know. Everyone like get a bunch of weed lately or something like that.
It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
I think it's because it's the last day of the week before we still have to work another day. I don't.
You don't.
No,
you're off.
Have fun.
Corey's going to sleep for 24 hours.
No, 12.
12 hours. 12's good.
Yeah.
The wife is gone, right?
Yep. For 2 weeks. She'll be back. And I miss her.
Oh, it was a lame Jeopardy joke. See, brain not engaged. Just. It's all my fault, man. Yeah, it is. It is my fault.
What question are we?
I know what question we're on. Okay, here we go.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
We don't know what we're doing. We never know what we're doing.
What do you think is the almost Idris-sized gun on the Vandal carrier intended for? Shooting planets?
That was from Dragar.
Badass.
Just looking badass?
Yeah.
I think it's defending the Vandal Queen's Vandal parts.
Yeah, it's a giant phallic symbol, actually.
It is. Because that's all she can
there
handle.
to penetrate the Bengal carrier.
So why are all of the ships that we're talking about today sexual? Really?
They always
why?
are sexual.
It's, it's nothing new.
Have you not seen our warnings that I put up on YouTube whenever I put up a video?
Extreme sexual content.
Extreme
Were you not briefed by Trendane before coming on this show?
Well, I mean, Star Citizen is starship porn. We all know that, I guess it's got to come out sometime.
Quick, ask your Google Glass to do an analysis of this show.
No, it'd probably crash.
No. We have some love going on in the audience for your Google Glass. They're like, I want that.
Yeah, they've been going on about it for a while.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not reading the chat because it's on the other monitor.
So.
We've had about 5 or 6 people say, "That's Google Glass. Give me that."
Yes.
Well, if you're in Orlando, you can come try it at least.
Awesome. Does it have augmented reality?
First. Well, there is some stuff you can do with it, but quite honestly, I just factory reset it, so it's kind of in a vanilla state right now.
So it's not really doing anything.
Well, right now it's just listening to this terrible stuff we're talking about.
It's trying to figure out how to make ship porn show up on your screen.
Yeah, I would have tried to set it up so that I'd be able to read the chat without looking at the chat.
That's a good idea. I probably should have done that.
Probably.
Yeah, we're gonna all wear Oculuses the next time. That's a good idea, Angel Paws.
That'll be fun to watch on.
That'd be fun watching all of us.
Can't type anything.
No, we sitting there going, huh?
Oh yeah. Speaking of props, I was supposed to wear the pimp hat.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's
I did bring
awesome.
it out over here, so I have a whole pimp outfit, but sorry, not going to grace you with that.
That's all right. Hey, Iron Man, thanks for coming. All right, so let's move on. In the 10 for the chairman, this is from Cyberwolf. Confirmed beam weapons on large scrap ships only. What do you think beam weapons will have a place in, or do you think beam weapons will have a place in Star Citizen? You're drinking it from a beaker. How much geekier could you be?
I could go a little geekier if you
It's
want.
all right. I appreciate that. I'm Geekdomo for all things. It's fine. Drinking from a beaker is just perfect. Anyway,
Awesome.
What are
the beam weapons.
One of the biggest issues with the beam weapons is that the Crysis engine itself, or the Crytek engine, does not support sustained damage. That means that a beam weapon that's supposed to, do sustained damage over time,
Void rays,
doesn't technically function as a sustained damage over time weapon. It will basically be a very rapid firing, low damage type weapon that kind of shows like it's a constant beam.
Do you think
the fact that they've decided to put it in anyway, right? Even though the technology just isn't there in the Crytek engine to allow for such a sustained damage over time weapon, means that they will limit it to just capital ships, exactly like they said, and they'll just do it for it looking flashy, but actually still just being, a low damage, high sustained over time device rather than an actual beam weapon.
I really like it. I'm a huge fan of beam weapons because I love Free Space, and Free Space had tons of beam weapons. And by the way, I'm doing a playthrough of Free Space 1 and 2 on my Twitch, so you guys should definitely come watch that at some point. I'll do it tomorrow because I'm too freaking tired right now, but yeah, Free Space, the beam weapons were like everything in battle. So capital ships always had these beam weapons. They were like anti-fighter beam weapons, which were kind of like quick little shots that were just meant to take out fighters, and then they had these giant anti-capital ship weapons that, in like a heated, like pitched battle with, 10 to 15 different capital ships, you just had like beam weapons going everywhere, and just the charging up sound was like, and
it should be cool.
It was really like every time you heard that and you saw it charging up, you had to like get out of the way. Yeah, it was wild, and I really loved that because it just added to the atmosphere, and just made the power of the capital ships, really evident, made them feel really weighty. So I think beam weapons are a fantastic idea, and I really like them. I've been kind of pushing that point since day one, but I was kind of disappointed when they gave the answer that Core just reiterated, that the problem is that the engine, it just doesn't, you have to crowbar it in the engine because it doesn't work properly. But I'm glad they're actually doing it, so it should be fun.
I mean, they even went so far as to retcon their original statement about lasers and Gatling lasers and rephrased it so that it would technically still be a ballistic projectile encased in light, which would be the laser. And that's kind of how they went with it. And the reason for this is all too simple. I mean, it is developed to be the Crysis engine, and anything in Crysis is all about bullet physics, so all particle projectiles, which a beam weapon is not. It's supposed to be their heat transference cutting things. So, that's just something they never actually built into it, which is sad because in Gundam, my favorite activity is to watch other Gundams cut off arms and stuff.
And like, I love StarCraft, and that is all full of beam weapons. The void rays are, they melt shit all the time. It's a lot of fun. So.
To quickly answer Mecrior, who's asking how did MechWarrior Living Legends have lasers and pulse lasers? They're not actual lasers. This is what I'm trying to say. What they're using is a simulated damage projected system. They're not actual heat transference systems like lasers and pulse lasers are supposed to be. So all it really is a ballistic particle wrapped in a cone of light, which is what, it's basically the particle looking like light, which could be described as a laser, but it's not really, since in the engine it's still a particle. Anyway, sorry. Yes, moving on.
All right. Okay, next question. The Vandal ship size chart was released now, and someone put an Idris on the chart for size comparison. The Idris put on the chart was at 240 meters. Do you think this was a mistake?
Yes.
Yes, it was a mistake.
Okay. Easy peasy.
It was just too big to be on there. I mean, with all the specs that we have gotten in the past, there would be no way that, it would now be 240, because that would mean it would be able to fit something more like a Retaliator, if you wanted to.
I'd be okay if it fit a Retaliator, but
so would we.
saying.
I mean, when we saw the mistake, we have one guy, Dan Retta. His first response was, "Yes, they're gonna make it 240," and everyone was like, "No, Dan." And Dan was like, "I know they're not, but let me dream."
That'd be nice because we have one, so we'd love to have it be suddenly larger. Bigger's better.
Hey, I'd always
right?
love to suddenly be larger. Not
right.
there.
Another Markin just sent me a link that says he's got a link to the dialogue that was hidden inside the files. Do we want to listen to it? I guess you guys want to listen to it. It could be like porn.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Sure, it's yours.
I want to preview that before you just throw it up.
Well, I don't know because there's no way for me to preview it without.
You could always just mute yourself.
No, because it's not coming. You're not listening to my headphones through my mic. You're listening to headphones through the computer.
Right, but if you
could send
mute,
it to me, you could put it in Skype chat and then I can preview it.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Here,
yeah, that could work.
tell me what this is. If it's got prawn in it, it's okay. Even if it is prawn. We're vapid and prawny and another American's like, it's not porn. I promise.
It'll be the one time that you don't preview it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Put the porn up.
Just a text file, an empty text file.
Oh.
While we're waiting, anyone here who is excited about Wargame Red Dragon? I mean, it's probably not a lot of you, but I have a closed beta key. But I'm allowed to stream it, so as soon as it comes in closed beta, I will be streaming it. So if you don't know what it is, would like to check it out, or know what it is and would like to see it before it comes out, head over to my channel and hit the follow button.
What is the game? What's it about?
Sorry. Alright, Wargame Red Dragon. Originally, there was a little game called Wargame European Escalation. Came out of the blue, took a lot of people by storm. It's basically a revisited RTS style that basically comes into holding and capturing zones across the map, and earning points for that and being able to deploy more units. Now, there's no economy system or anything like that. It is pure chess and skills when it comes to playing with the units. However, a large portion of the game is knowing what the units actually do and what they are capable of doing before using them in specific situations. It is actually a hell of a lot of fun to learn. It is the learning curve is a little bit high though, but if you stop by my channel and check out the game, I promise you I'll be able to turn you into a wargame player that will at least be better than the average.
All right, so what'd you find there? Hold on. You just sent
I found a text, an empty text document, so I don't know.
All right, hold on. He just sent me another message. If this doesn't work, Mr. American, we're going to have to skip on here. Let's see.
Why is everyone talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance? It's like that game was fucking scripted upon everything.
Yeah, apparently they're working with some Star Citizen developers unofficially.
Okay,
They're
there you
working
go.
with, like, everything. I've got people from, I got emails from the guys who did Wasteland 2 saying that check out this Kickstarter. I got a message from other Kickstarters saying check out that in particular, and I'm like, but it's already funded, first of all, and why am I checking out this guy? This one? Nah, never mind. It's just.
I'm really not interested in it, to be honest.
All right, Harriet, real quick, Perfect. Check out that one. He just gave me another one.
It just seems so weird because even Star
Sorry,
Citizen
download
has
takes
nothing to
longer
do
than
with.
this.
Okay, forget it. Sorry, American. It's just not working.
Sorry, Core. Go ahead. What were you saying?
All I'm trying to say is that like Wasteland and Star Citizen, they really have nothing in common with Kingdom Come Deliverance. So it doesn't make any sense to me that I'd be getting ads for those games from the other Kickstarters that I funded. So, but yeah,
That's funny.
they're just going off hype, I guess.
All right, next question from Legendary Neurotoxin says, "This is the future. Why are things still being manually constructed instead made as an integrated series of flowing nanotubules that provide the ship with power, ammo, and instant repair material to be damaged systems?"
Hey, why don't we have vacuum hard drive services yet? I mean, at the end of the day, vacuum nanotubes aren't a thing yet either. Even though they do exist, we do have the technology.
I think we're talking about future stuff that maybe in the future that this kind of thing could take place.
But the thing is, a lot of the technology that might be ahead in our time doesn't necessarily have to take place in the Star Citizen universe. It might be that either that technology is delayed or they just never spent that much time investing in it. If you take, for instance, the Fallout universe as a parallel universe backdrop, the major difference between Fallout universe and our universe is that in the Fallout universe, instead of making chips smaller and more micro to fit into smaller machines, instead they just built out these huge supercomputers that were like literally buildings big, just to be able to do the exact same thing that a small laptop could in our universe. Now, because they never decided to make their chips smaller, their computers were more sophisticated. They just took up a lot more space. But they never, spent ages trying to make all these chips very small, so their technology progressed at a faster rate. And this is the exact type of thing that you can equate to the Star Citizen universe. It's like legendary neurotoxin says, this is the future, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be our future. It can be the future of a parallel universe in which some things did not progress as they would have in this universe.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that, and this is actually a very interesting historical point, and I hope I don't bore everyone to tears talking about this, but from about, I'd say the beginning of the 20th century, from about World War I until now, technology has expanded at an exponential rate. It's been about, there's been estimates of, several thousand% faster than it has in any other time in human history. I mean, technology has sort of regressed in certain periods of history rather than progressed. So where we are now and how fast we're actually, developing new technology, we have very little predictive ability to be able to say in 100 years.
It's out the window. The singularity has already occurred. We're at the point where we're creating new technology and new ideas and new intelligences and new wisdoms at such an alarming rate that the collective human intelligence is increasing by a second, by 7 seconds every day. But It is ridiculous, I mean, at this point, to calculate what possibly will be 100 years from now. We could all already be ascended beings flying around in fucking limbo space by that time.
Or we could all be dead.
We could all be dead. Did you guys see that? You guys know what 3D printers are, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 3D, they're going to be having 3D printers that will print buildings very soon. Like, you'll set them up as a scaffolding and it'll just sit there and print out a building. So gone are the days, I mean, including all the pipes and everything inside, they can just lay it as they go. So gone are the days of having to stick construct a building. They can build a solid concrete building that is way safer and can withstand, earthquakes and things like that in days. Not weeks, not months.
Now, if they can get like the road construction to be that fast, happy person.
That's linear.
Just let Skynet run that whole system. It should be fine.
Yes, I'm okay.
That's a great idea.
I'm okay.
I'm up for Skynet.
Run everything.
I saw Boiled Down say that spaceflight isn't much more ahead than it is 30 years ago, but that's because what we built what we did research and developed 60 years ago was actually only implemented 30 years ago and still works today. Why replace what still works? And that is one of the main things that you can find in a capitalist society, is that as long as it works, there's no reason to break it down. Look at every single one of our 747 jets. They've been around for 50, 60 years, and they still fly now. They just have their parts replaced every fucking day or week or month or whatever. The idea behind it is not so much that think of our world as a world where we create lasting products. Now, I'm not saying the iPod or your fucking iPhone is a lasting product. That's all consumer-based waste product, right? You're using it for the sake of using it. Mm-hmm. But airplanes, stuff that is for commercial use, for military use, it's built to last, and it lasts a long fucking time. So, the new technology does exist for space flight and stuff like that. It's just that there's no reason to build it yet, because either the funding's not there yet, or there's no reason to progress to the point where we need that sort of stuff yet.
And we have private entities that are way farther along in the R&D department than NASA is, because really they've turned it over to private industry already. And you have the first commercial space flights coming in the next 10 to 15 years. They'll have the tickets are $200,000. I mean,
but you can do it.
You got the money.
Yeah, another example is, for instance, the Hueys and the Cobras from like 40 years ago, the ones they used in Vietnam. They're now being all standardized into UH-1Y Venoms and into UH-1Z Vipers. I forgot what the second one's called. Basically, what they're doing is they're making both of the helicopters into a standardized amalgamation so that 86% of the parts from the new Huey and from the new Cobra are interchangeable. So if one kind of breaks that, and that's what they're working towards now. It's just an example of the problem is not that the old product is out of date or just not good anymore. It's just that they're making it much, much easier to maintain. And this is just another thing that comes back to these products were built to last. And because of that, there's no reason to upgrade what isn't broken. And,
86% is not a good number, though. Just saying, 86 bad.
I can't help it. It's what it says on the wiki.
Mechalor wanted to put a picture of himself on the cast, so there we go. Ooh, it's loud.
Sepfy, mute.
That's weird, Sepfy. It's only like when you open your mic up, it turns into like a jet engine.
Google Glass feels ignored.
Yeah, Google Glass is going, pay attention to me. Because we're talking about Skynet, and it's like, yeah, let me talk about that.
It's trying to communicate.
Right, exactly. It's trying to join the collective.
It kind of pushes back the static, so...
Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's a Zoom H4n microphone. I'm not certain what's wrong with it, so...
Basically, just talking kills it. Or I think it might be Skype trying to white noise it or something like that, and might be causing an issue there. But, yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Your legendary Neurotoxin, that was a good question. So, all right. Moving on now. Okay, question from... What's that?
The question's in there twice.
In there twice, it was so good. So Siberian K says, as Domo got a freelancer, which variant would it be? The Mohawk Tit one.
Is that the official name for it now?
Yeah, it's the MT1.
Coined by the Core.
I like it.
So why is the Air Force retiring the A-10? Because it's old tech.
Yeah, really old tech.
We're literally talking about a metal shell housing a fucking turbine, housing a fucking Gatling gun.
No, it's a Gatling gun with an airplane built around it.
Yes, yeah.
The C
it's a Gatling gun the size of a VW bug surrounded by an airplane.
Yeah, the C-Wiz that I used to work on was a 20 millimeter. That's a 30 millimeter. Same exact gun. It's amazing how it works. And I wish I had the technology to enter the next great starship, because at the Gatling gun stage here, I could have made something amazing, because I have a background in working on the C-Wiz, which is the 30 millimeter, 20 millimeter chain gun. All right, moving on here. Many people are debating going Operation Pitchfork to save the release of the Vanduul ship since release. Are you still planning on invading Vanduul space at the end of beta? So, Core, this has been brought up in other episodes. What is Operation Pitchfork? Can you explain it to some people? Because I had a couple people asking, like, what we talked about it, but I had no idea what it was.
All right, Operation Pitchfork is the plan to, at the end of open beta, or at the end of beta, right before the release of the actual game, for everyone or every player that wants to participate, to invade Vanduul space and see how far they can get. That's literally what they want to do. They literally just want to kick Vanduul ass at that point. I've mentioned it before. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on StarCast, but I'll mention it now anyway. I've always said, why the fuck wait until the end of beta when at the beginning of beta everything that I have will still be matured? So that's what I was thinking, right? And in regards to Imperium, anyone from Imperium is free to join. We will be writing up an official statement on our stance with Operation Pitchfork as it is. It depends on our diplomacy department on whether when they're going to get that message out. But we will be doing something with it. However, like I said, if it was up to me, I wouldn't wait until the end of beta.
Right. All right, that was good. John Paul was saying old tech with the latest avionics is amazing. Replace it with what? It's an anti-tank plane. So, they have all these drones and stuff like that now. There's no even point to fly. I mean, they get to the point where they don't even need airplanes anymore, like normal piloted airplanes, for maybe anything other than reconnaissance.
Look, in like 40 years, everything will be droned. I
Yeah.
mean, you'll just have a pilot. But what you'll call a pilot is a guy sitting in a video game chair.
Yeah, like
Playing
I'm
with
okay
a drone.
that.
Yeah.
But you know what they've said is a lot of those guys suffer from PTSD just as much as the pilots do, because they're sitting there on a screen and they're blowing up women and children, and then they get up and go home and have some coffee with a wife.
But the thing is, maybe at some point in the future, everyone will be using drones and will not actually be fighting each other anymore. We'll just be fighting technology.
That wouldn't be
Then
so bad.
it'll be kind of like a computer game, right? I mean,
Can
who
I
has
send
more
a
drones
drone
than-
into work for me, please?
And then it's like, but then what happens if it turns into like the Ender's Game deal where,
Yes.
oh, you're just fighting drones, but
You're really not.
But
You're just
but
destroying the
Ender's
planet.
Game was just a backlash of betrayal by his superior officer. Oh, you're just doing a training exercise. You'll be fine. So, but yeah, no, I get it. I get where you're coming from, but the technology that they used in Ender's Game was stolen from the very enemy that attacked them in the first place. So using their drone technology against them, I don't see a problem with that. Anyway.
Yep. Skynet engage. That's right.
yeah.
Okay. Next question. Mr. Stompy says, any idea how many ships will be allowed in an instance? We seem to have this every week. Don't we?
Yeah, we talk about instancing every single week. It's between 60 and 100,
But it could be
depending on there's set slots for capital ships, and then there's which have their own instances inside them where players are, and then you have some number of ships, there's some number of ships that are set for a group, so friends can be in the same instance. So for every person, there's some slots that are reserved for friends or people in the same guild, and then there's general slots that anybody can come into for people just wandering in and out of the instance. Again, all this stuff is work in progress, though, because they've been so vague on the details, and the numbers have fluctuated really kind of wildly. So we have no real idea about precisely how many ships will be allowed in a single instance. That's really going to be one of those things they test out in beta. So when they start, they're just going to start with some instances and be like, hey, let's just see how far we go until we break, the server.
So, yeah, we won't really have an answer. Dogfighting module is going to give us some clearer answers in regards to how much we're going to be able to handle. I mean, they'll probably start low. They'll probably start with 10v10 matches, right? But as they go on, they might go, all right, let's try this out. 1,000v1,000 matches, just dump everyone in the same lobby and be like, let's see what happens. But we'll see how much the Crisis Engine can handle and what kind of stress testing they'll do. Maybe Mantle will still have an effect on the performance, but again, we're talking about shit that's so far down the line that we can't even make it.
See, this is what we're talking about, right? I mean, we can't even predict graphics technology a year out from now. We have no idea what it's going to be. No. So, yeah, trying to predict the future beyond that is just so hard.
Yeah, it'll be difficult.
All right, next question, really good one. What do this week's guests plan to do in Star Citizen? So, how about Bod? You want to go first? Tell us what you plan on doing in Star Citizen.
Originally, I planned on shooting lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm in Imperium, part of combat ops, but I think as I looked at more ships, I started picking up. I'll probably do a bit of everything. I mean, I've got a ship for everything now. Trading, bit of exploring, but my main goal will be blowing stuff up.
It's a good goal.
Bigger, better. Blow stuff up.
How about you, Sepfy?
Well, honestly, I'm a moody bitch, so it just is going to depend on the day. As to what I want to do. But primarily, we have a few different divisions in our guild, and I'm a part of all of them. But the primary one's going to be escort services, which is blowing stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh, those kind. Okay.
Not the other kind. Well, maybe the other kind of escort services too, but primarily the one where we're going to be blowing ships.
Usually people go with
yeah.
security services or something, but
no, escort services. But we do have a division specifically for commerce, whether it's trade or resources and things like that. And our goal is to help protect those. And maybe one day I'll just be like, screw it, I don't feel like dealing with any of that, and explore. I have a whole bunch of different ships, so
cool.
Well, that's the most beautiful thing about Star Citizen is the freedom that you get to do whatever the fuck it is that you want.
Yes,
freedom, baby. Awesome. Oh, Cyberwolf says you're going to be a prostitute.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I'll do a lot of different things.
I'm a whore.
If you're feeling like it, right? I mean, that's what it sounded like.
I'm definitely a whore. So, all right, that hat will come in handy then. There you go. Your pimp hat.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Again, I am one of the leaders of the guild, and we've got a lot of people. I might just have to take advantage of that.
Things going on. I see where you're going. Yep.
That's right, baby. All right. Next question. When do you think we'll
read it straight? Don't try and correct it. Just read it straight.
I can't read it straight. My brain's gonna explode. When do you think we'll get our Hornet S-ball turret back? Oh, when do you think we'll get our Hornet S-ball turret back?
When you hanger patch?
I don't know. I'm lost. The question just really threw me for a loop.
When it's fully PBR'd, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it got removed from the latest hanger patch. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to run the hanger yet because mine keeps crashing. So, I'm guessing the ball turret's missing.
Okay. Malefic says, how do you think ship takeover will work? My assumption that you will need to disable the ship and then have a boarding team to enter the ship, dispatch the crew. However, will you then be able to tractor beam the ship to a carrier, or you need to repair it and fly it away? Discuss. So he's talking about like scuttling a ship or actually stealing it, bringing it home.
So this has been pretty heavily discussed by Chris Roberts and company because boarding is really the basis for the first-person shooter mechanic in the game. And yeah, you'll need to disable the ship, and you'll have to have a boarding team. You'll have to find a way to get through the hull, which probably won't be that easy. And then once you're in, you have to fight and kill the crew, or force them to surrender somehow. And you have to get past all of the traps that they set, so they can shut off the gravity. They can have giant jizz cannons that glue you to walls, as we've discussed in previous podcasts.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that you have to get past, and then once you've got the ship, you've got to. I don't know if there'll be tractor beams. I actually haven't really heard much discussion on tractor beams.
They do exist, but how they're going to work,
we have no idea. And whether you'll be able to actually tow a ship with them, I doubt. Maybe maybe, who knows? But
I see tractor beams more as like grapplers and disablers, as in you fire it at something, and that ship is unable to then get further away from you.
Right,
something
exactly.
like that.
So I'm thinking it's more going to be like they'll just be a tow thing. So either a cable or like a freighter actually has to physically attach itself to the hull.
I also think that you'll have to be pretty surgical with your strikes on the ship, and that smaller ships are going to be more difficult to disable and take over like that. I think it will be possible, though. I think if you completely disable a ship, but the pilot inside is still alive, I think maybe you'll be able to take the ship, captive like that as well. Maybe there will be specific weaponry that is aimed more at the tackling / EM pulse type, that will allow for boarding a lot easier. But the drawback of EM might be that you have to be so close that you're basically already touching them, and that might be difficult to do by yourself as well. you know, that sort of stuff, how that is exactly going to work out, we won't know yet. I mean, it would just be cool if that, you know, if there was an Idris and you had an Aurora or a Constellation or something, and you had a Marine complement inside, and you just crash that thing through the bridge, and the Marines jump out in their EVA suits and fucking take it over.
Right.
Or my personal favorite, which we discussed a couple of episodes ago, where you basically just board a ship of one of these of a clan, and you're like, "Hey, you're my friends, yeah!" and you suddenly kill everyone on board, and now you have an interest.
I was thinking like, that's really not possible with games like I played, like Battlefield or something like that. You know, it didn't seem like that could be possible. But after I've been playing a lot of Titanfall, the AI in that game isn't too bad. And I could see you being able to take over another ship with some pretty decent AI. What do you guys think?
I think it'd be really hard to take over with AI.
Well, you have some friends to help you, but of course, if you're taking over an Idris, you can't do it with, you know, one or two
Hell,
people.
if I can use AI as meat shields, then no problems there, right?
I have a feeling though that they're going to limit that so that people don't just buy up crews and use them as meat shields and try and continuously raid and take over ships. This is what I think. I think that you're going to have to do with players, but maybe, who knows? Just guess.
Yeah, we've been wanting to kit out a couple of our Bonnie merchantmen's for ramming, because it looks like a caltrop, and ramming boarding party.
Yeah,
could be fun.
Smash it in the side.
Oh, you mean other shit? Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
We're just talking about ramming.
Yeah, I got
ramming
it.
speed. All right, so
not a prostitute.
We're back to that again.
The idea was put in my head. I don't know where from.
Okay, so Malefic says, Metallica for Life says, whom do you think is the most underrated game developer?
Who do you think? Not whom. Sorry.
Well, it could be whom. Why wouldn't it be whom? Whom would be
Ryan
more than one?
Fargo.
Who do you think? Not whom do you think? Sorry.
I don't know.
Because
I said
it's
Ryan Fargo, because, you know, why not?
Okay,
whom
fair
is.
enough.
Alright, I'm not going to explain the grammar.
Grammar Nazi.
We're gonna...
Seek Heil, Mr. Harris.
What?
Deutschland, über alles. Is that what you're doing? He's a grammar Nazi.
I'm a huge. I do love German football.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And now we'll be flagged with Nazi
I know.
racism. Great.
Great. There you
racism.
We can put that in our thing too. We're
Racism,
racist.
prostitution. This is a great one.
Pimps.
The fact that you actually started chanting in German, it astonishes me. You astonish me, sir.
Me?
Yes.
My wife's German.
It's fine. Don't worry.
That's right. All right. Fair enough. Moving on now. Okay. So Cathor says mining lasers are not beam weapons then?
Correct.
I'm guessing.
They
I'm thinking
are.
it's a pulse. It's like a really fast pulse, but they show it as a beam. Just, you know.
Yeah,
it's just
no,
pop,
we
pop,
were.
pop, pop, pop.
What Core and I were talking about was actually how it works, like how the numbers game works. How it's animated is totally a whole different. I mean, they can animate whatever the hell they want. It's really how the damage works and how basically the material that lasers or beams come in contact with judge the amount of damage that they're taking.
Yeah, at the end of the day, what you see on your screen, like the mining laser, and how you think it operates is how it's intended to operate. As in, you'll see the beam, and you'll see it slowly chipping away at whatever it's eating. But the numbers game itself, like the back end and how it's handled, and what what the actual engine is doing to make those effects appear on your screen, they're not a one-to-one correlation. Like, they might just be something that you completely didn't expect, but you still get the same results. I mean, that's the way to think about it. Ish.
Sort of.
It's
Okay.
difficult.
Angel Pause, I don't know where these questions are coming from.
Just no.
No,
Just no to the
we're
first one.
just going to go. The second one, too. Okay, so this one's from Magdar, and this is probably our last question. So you guys want to ask some questions, throw them in quick, because if we don't get any of these questions, then we're going to be stopping. All right, here we go. Magdar says, "What? This sounds amazing. Will your crew be RLP? Sorry for the noob question. This is the first time I watched this show." Magdar is a normal follower of mine who watches a lot of EverQuest Next stuff. So I think he's here for the first time. So you want to explain that a little bit, Core?
I have no idea what RLP is.
Real life play, role playing pirates.
Me personally, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm a gamer at heart. I am not the role-playing type. I don't adhere to themes. I don't do anything like that. So when it comes to that sort of stuff, it'll be either metagaming or social engineering all the way. It will be nothing to do with, me pretending to feel like a real captain of a ship and with the stars. No, that's not me.
I would like to see the dress. Oh, real life people crew. There we go.
Oh, yes. Well, our crew, the crews for our ship we'll definitely have people in our ships. Like, we're gonna crew ships together. That's definitely.
So here's the way it works: is if I leave my hangar and I have a large ship now, and I leave the hangar and I probably will have maybe 1 or 2 AI crewmates. And I leave the hangar and Core comes on and goes, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm taking a shipment over to this place." Core will be like, "Hey, can I come with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he can literally log on and hop into one of my crew there's normally an AI and take over that crew member. And then he's like, "Hey man, I gotta go. All right, see you later." He leaves. The crew member comes back as AI. And the crew member never left. He just actually stops being run by Core, which is a pretty neat little idea. It's a lot like the Matrix, right? When
kind of, it's
Agent Smith would take over.
Hot seating mechanic. But you can always just have people from your clan or people from your guild or people that you think are friendly. Sorry, I mean your friends. I didn't mean people you think are friends. I said friends. That's what I was trying to go for. You can always invite them onto your ship, and have your ship be fully piloted with crew, actual real life people. And the idea behind it, the idea that Chris wants, of course, is that most human-based ships, player-run ships, will be actually manned and crewed by actual players, rather than a player with 5 AIs going, "Ha! Gotcha." But yeah, that's what Chris prefers.
Okay, we got some more questions coming in. All right. So let me just I'm going to skip over Lumabox's one because Magdar's question is off of that one. So that sounds amazing. And if people board you, your guild members can help fend them off. Yes.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Chronos Blood says, "I can't wait to see how the servers are going to handle 3 or more people flying through spaces together on one ship and moving through the ship." I don't know. It's an instance, right?
Yeah, it's an instance. I mean, at the end of the day, right, you can't technically be shot out of an airlock, but you could if you wanted to.
Magdar says he's about to mangasm. Welcome to the verse. Now you're addicted.
Yes. This is why we love Star Citizen.
Yep. To answer Zeeg there, yes, 95% of the universe will be AI.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go back to Lumabox's question. Any thoughts on boarding combat scenarios? Will it be like Titanfall or PlanetSide 2, fast-paced, a lot of shooting and dying, or more tactical, following orders on TeamSpeak, a lot of cover and waiting for opportunities to advance?
Well, considering that this is more like DayZ in the sense that when you die, you're going back to like the planet that you fucking came from, and not the ship that you're on. The idea is that when you get taken out in one of these ship-to-ship combats, you're out of that fight forever.
Permanently.
And the odds of you getting back to that fight are really low because it's all instance-based. So the idea is you get one shot. If your ship gets taken out before you're able to board, game over. If you manage to board but instantly get blown up, game over. If you manage to board and kill everyone, but in the end the ship blows up, still game over. Mm-hmm. So if you die once, you're basically out of that fight forever. So it won't be fast-paced. It might be, if you're really good, you might be really Twitch-based, and you might be able to kill everyone in like seconds. But at the same time, yes, death is pretty final in regards to that particular instance.
No doubt, yeah. Just real quick for those, like we have a couple people in the audience who are new to this, there is permadeath in this game. So you get hit one time, maybe you lose an arm, and they come back and they put like a cybernetic arm on it, and then you get hit another time and they blow off your leg, they put a cybernetic leg on you. And the third time you get hit, they blow your ship up and you die. Then you die, and what it comes back is the person you put on your will. So you say, I want my daughter Margaret, whatever, to take over for me after I'm dead. And what happens
And
is
she gets all the assets.
she gets all the assets. You then log back in, and now you're Margaret, and you get to fly that ship. Any ships you have in your hangar, everything goes to her. And that character you made, you start up, he's gone forever.
Yeah, so from a gaming standpoint, you will always be who you are. You will always be the player in the chair, and technically, you will never lose anything by dying. The only thing you will lose is the aesthetic appeal of the character that you're currently using, and any achievements that they might have garnered over their virtual life. But if they die, their kin takes over, their brother takes over, whatever. And their virtual story starts until they die, and it breathes this little extra bit of life into it. But in regards to you dying, you actually respawn back at the medical center where you were originally slaved to, I guess, is the proper term.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Any other questions we got in here? I don't think we got any new questions.
Maybe.
All right, everybody. And the reputation will also remain. Yes. So if your character, if you're a pirate, and you give your ship to your daughter, or all your assets to your daughter, when
the sins of the father will reflect upon the rest of
the rest of the kids. Exactly.
To some degree, yeah.
To some degree, yeah.
Well, no, I think it should just reflect across the board, because it's technically the player that's sitting behind the computer that has garnered the reputation, not necessarily the virtual character that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be a douchebag.
Right. There's going to be a lot of, risk involved. No, there's going to be a lot of risk involved by playing these characters. It's a lot like DayZ. It's like in DayZ, you spend hours and hours and hours getting that sniper rifle. You go sit up in a tree somewhere waiting to take somebody out. And when you're not looking, a zombie comes up and eats your face.
The only difference is you get your ship back.
Right, that's true. And DayZ, you don't get that sniper rifle back.
Unless you pay for it.
Or you get a new ship because it was blown up, and you have it insured, hopefully.
Yep.
Lifetime insurance forever.
Yes.
The funny thing is, right? The question was asked to Chris Roberts: can you cancel lifetime insurance? So, I don't know why you want to, but sure, I guess. The reason why people ask that is because it was stated specifically that those hulls would not be upgraded after losing them, right?
Yeah.
So if at some point, the Constellation Mark 12 comes out, right, and you want to upgrade it to the next ship, you cancel your LTI, you blow it, you buy a regular insurance premium, blow it the fuck up, or accidentally have it blown up, and it comes back as a Mark 12 with basic insurance, and that way, you still get a ship back. That's better than what you currently have.
Well, sometimes there's the appeal of the older models.
Right, but sometimes the older models just can't keep up.
Very true.
Anyway, it was fun.
Okay. Will it have a native controller support movement not in a ship?
Yeah, you will be able to control your character with a with a controller if you want, or with a joystick, or with a keyboard and mouse.
It'll be pretty suboptimal in FPS combat though to control it with anything other than a keyboard and mouse though. Just pointing that out.
If they implement fucking auto aim for controllers, that is like pretty much that is the largest mistake that they could make for first person / crisis type combat in Star Citizen. That is something that will be boycotted to death, because aim assist with a controller versus actual mouse aim, the two do not relate one-on-one, and mouse should in all instances beat a controller, but aim assist is just so dodgy.
Yeah, it's just such a gray area. They should definitely avoid that.
Well, I mean, does it really seem like it would fit in with what Chris Roberts really wants, where this is supposed to be a skill-based thing?
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it would fit in, but the problem is, and this is where it comes in, it said before that a mouse, beats a joystick in terms of precision. Now, it might not in terms of actual maneuverability in flight, but in terms of precision, it beats a joystick. And in terms of a mouse beating a controller in an FPS environment, hands down, no question. No one even is doubting that. But the problem is, because no one doubts that, companies have built aim assist. Specifically with the intent to make sure that a joystick-operated controller can match up with what, with what a mouse can do. But it shouldn't be able to, because it's just an inferior input device. And because it's socially accepted to use aim assist in that type of scenario, the problem is it might still be put in.
Well,
I don't think it
shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. I agree.
I really doubt it will be, actually, because...
it's in Titanfall, okay?
Is it really?
It's in Titanfall.
But that's Titanfall, right? I mean, we're talking about a game
I'm
that's
just saying
built from the ground up to PC.
It keeps coming back, no matter how PC the game is, and I don't mean politically correct. No, I mean fucking personal computer the game is. It keeps coming back, and aim assist should.
I mean, Titanfall it's not a PC exclusive, right? Like Star Citizen is.
You're absolutely right, but it should only have aim assist on the Xbox or on the Xbox One. But the funny thing is, technically, you don't need aim assist there because everyone's using a controller. So the only thing that aim assist actually combats is controller versus mouse support. But if it's combating just controller versus controller, then it shouldn't need it.
Meg says, can we link him to the site so they can take all my money? Well, that's not too hard to do, and you probably will lose all of your money.
Yes.
Yeah, money, not a good thing. It eats it.
Money is a great thing. Robert Space Industries is not a good thing.
So true. Yeah, I think over the past year and a half, me and my husband are at like $4,000 or something dropped on it. So not conducive to buying other nice things.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on one around $2,000, so it's I'm not up there, but
Well, just think if your significant other was buying almost the exact same thing. That's all it is.
I don't know
what money exactly. I've gone into debt for this game. All right, I think that's it.
Don't worry, I got away with it really easily. I mean, I bought my wife a $7,000 worth piano, and then bought myself $2,000 worth of internet pixels.
That easily weighs itself over. Yeah,
there you go.
I think you're in the clear on that.
Professional piano, space pixels. Go, it's fine. Dude, look over here. I'll be over there. Sorry.
Yep. All right, guys. I guess that's it. You want to go around the room and talk about our channels and stuff? We'll get that done and move on, I guess. Everyone's kind of tired tonight.
Yeah, exhausted.
Yeah. We'll be better next week, hopefully. I apologize.
I am Core of Existence. I do a daily stream of whatever game I feel like playing at the time. Like I said earlier, I will be playing Wargame Red Dragon closed beta as soon as it releases, which should be anytime this week. Come check it out, even if you're not a fan of Wargame, or if you haven't seen Wargame before. Come check it out and see if it's for you. It'll be quite fun. You'll be able to see if the game is for you before buying it. I stream daily. Please check out my channel. Don't forget, Bearded Warriors. Hit the follow button. Do all the things.
Yeah, Perfect's been dropping that in the thing. Bearded Warriors is our team. So if you follow that page, basically any of us that are streaming is on there. And then you can follow all of us just by hitting one button. Hit one button, It follows the whole team.
Please go to that page right now and hit follow on everyone if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
It's really easy. All right, Mr. Perfect, tell us about your stuff.
So you can find me on Twitter at Perfekt Nerd. You can find me here. Follow the Bearded Warriors. I just put the link in the chat. So definitely follow all of us. I'm doing a Free Space 1 / expansion / Free Space 2 playthrough live on Twitch. I've gotten decently far into the first campaign already. And I'm just sort of explaining sort of optimal ways. I play the game once a year every year, so I'm kind of, while I'm doing it, I'm explaining optimal ways to actually play the mission, why I really like the game, and talking about Star Citizen and sort of the evolution of space sims since the early 90s. and how everything sort of culminated in this is like the magnum opus of the genre, and how the engine was like at the top of its line because all the money was being poured into just making Space Sims awesome. Unfortunately, they sold the game for $90, so nobody bought it because they had to try to make their money back. But yeah, it's really great. Come check it out. I'll be streaming it tomorrow, probably in the afternoon-ish, which is Central Time. Afternoon-ish Central Time.
Yeah, we have to work out a time where we can all pass off to each other because I finish about noon every day.
I'll probably start around like 11:30.
Oh, good. That way I can pass them over to you then.
Okay, so yeah, come check that out. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm also currently editing a really kind of lengthy-ish podcasty thing that I'm doing alone. I guess it's not really a podcast. It's like a discussion about it's a discussion about MMOs, the Elder Scrolls Online, and the metrics we use to sort of judge whether they're good or not. It's one of those things where it kind of have to be a little nerdy to like it. It's more of a market analysis piece and an industry analysis piece than something that I guess most regular gamers would enjoy. But I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, it should be up on YouTube day after tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to hear about that because I'm a big gamer, MMO gamer, and
do you guys discuss Arcade and stuff on there, like the third generation MMOs?
It's just me, so it's not really a we, but yeah, I'm discussing. The point of the discussion is really it's focused on whether or not the Elder Scrolls Online is really going to fail. Like it's about the language problem that games journalism has when it comes to discussing MMOs. And I'm making the argument that that's in fact an extension of the metrics problem that the games industry faces when trying to predict the success of a gaming franchise or an MMO franchise. And really, the crux of the discussion is actually talking about how people comparing TESO to Star Wars: The Old Republic is kind of not the right comparison to make because Star Wars, really what they're doing is comparing Star Wars to the Elder Scrolls series. When I think Final Fantasy is actually, like Final Fantasy 11 is the stronger comparison as a contrasting comparison. So it's a very complicated discussion actually.
Yeah,
well, it's not that complicated, but it's more on the intellectual side, I want to say, more on the industry side of things and less on the fun gaming time side of things. So,
all right, cool.
Okay, Mr. Bod, tell us about your stuff, or if you're out there, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
We found on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Bod699. Been doing YouTube videos for a few years, just messing around. I started Twitch streaming recently. Not done much this week as I'm getting over the flu, but tend to stream a lot of really out there weird games lately. I'm not sure why, but I have a few left to try. Ghost Simulator's on the list as soon as I can. I've been playing probably archery, core. Yeah, I've been playing some weird stuff recently. So just until something better comes along, I'm looking forward to Rambo, which is out tomorrow or next day. I think.
Really, looking forward to Malik.
It looks so terrible, which is exactly why you want to play it, right?
Come on, someone's got to play the bad games, right? Someone's got to look at them.
Somebody, as long as you aren't paying for them.
Well,
there's actually a great video on Rambo on Video Gamer, the videogamer.com YouTube page. I think everybody should go watch that. It's ridiculous.
They pay for some of them. Some of them are borrowed. I mean, I use a friend's Steam account, and he tends to buy a lot of, well, let's just say he buys anything. And what he doesn't buy, I pick up. That and a lot of early access stuff I've been playing recently, so as soon as I get over this flu, I'm going to stop doing some more at the weekend.
All right. Mr. Sepfy.
Well, if you try and search for me on the internet, you should probably be prepared for some eye bleach, so I would be careful with that. But on Twitter, I'm Seph Fuzzball, S-E-P-F, F-U-Z-Z-B-A-L-L. And if you are interested in getting to know any of our other guild members for some reason, we're Fuzzball Enterprises, or FDE, on the RSI site.
All right. Very cool. A little bit about your organization. So what is kind of the basis of it, real quick?
Well, so it's just it's a large group of primarily internet furries getting together into one guild, which is probably a problem. But ignoring that, we specifically have branches for combat, for trading and commerce, and for exploration. Very much no real piracy and attempting at the whole, let's not be assholes to everybody else kind of thing. A somewhat, we'll say maybe neutral good type guild, but
Okay.
just mostly to have fun.
Although
Really.
I would love to see some furry pirates.
Yeah, that would be cool. Not necessarily in our guild. I'm certain there are a lot of our guild members that are interested in that, but we're going to just look the other way. What we don't know isn't going to hurt us, but just don't let us find out.
Yeah. We at Trendane, he hasn't really picked a guild yet, Metallica. We don't know what he's doing. He's kind of being a little bit close to the chest.
I think his stance is, it has merit. As long as he's not playing the game, he doesn't want to get overly involved in the politics of anything. So I think that's why.
It's a smart decision. I respect it.
Yep. All right, so I'm Geekdomo, playing a lot of EverQuest Next right now. I'm Geekdomo everywhere. It's like Trendane's everywhere. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're doing Into the Portal tomorrow night, which we're doing an EverQuest podcast. What else is going on with me? I don't know. My brain is like jello right now. Trendane is taste approving the freelance variants right now. Yeah, Trendane is down in Texas, and he's going to Austin tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah. Speaking of Rocket Raccoon, they're coming out with the Guardians of the Galaxies, I think, which has Rocket Raccoon in it. John Paul was just saying. I'm trying to think of something else I wanted to say. I forget. Well, it'll come to me. But I am going to be we're going to be starting to give away ships on this show. So stay tuned for that. Probably the next couple of weeks we're going to start doing giveaways for ships, which would be awesome. So, all right, everybody. I think that's it for tonight. Thanks a lot for coming, and thank you just very much, Sepfy and Bod, for being here.
No problem. It was fun.
Yeah, we will be back to our regular show on Tuesday next week.
Which isn't that far away.
It's not very far away, right? We're going to have like almost back-to-back shows. So by then, let's please make a thing to say we're going to get some rest. Because this was probably our most like laid-back kind of like show we've ever had. I think we're all just so tired.
Boring.
No, it wasn't you. Oh. I'm blaming.
No, we were all ready to go on Tuesday, but Twitch just died on us. And then,
we were pumped on Tuesday. We were like, let's do
it. We were.
On Wednesday, we were still ready, but we were a little bit like, tired, gotta get ready for the show. And then, something else happened, which was fucking awesome too. So we went with that instead, and then, Here we are.
All right. Well, thanks. This will be up on YouTube later on, probably tomorrow. And then there's also an audio-only version that goes up onto the SoundCloud. So, thanks, everybody. Good night. Get some rest, Core. You look like you need it.
Yeah.
We'll see you, everybody. Thanks a lot.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye-bye.